Am I the jerk for losing my crap and screaming at my girlfriend to get out of my house after what her stepbrother did? Posted by you/White Whale 9847. My girlfriend was over at my place 2 days ago. We're both 20. She has a stepbrother who's 23. Before this, I'd only met him a few times, and he seemed like a regular dude. She asked if it was okay for him to come over for a couple of hours, and I said, why not? He said he would bring booze and pizza, and since my parents were away visiting relatives for the weekend, I figured we could just hang out. I have a little sister who's 15. They came over, and she stayed in her room the entire time. We were all a bit tipsy, and my girlfriend's stepbrother asked if he could use the washroom. I pointed him to the one down the hall. My girlfriend and I were preoccupied and didn't even realize how much time he was taking until we heard raised voices upstairs. We immediately went up to check what was going on and found my sister crying. He had gone upstairs instead of using the washroom. My sister's door was ajar, so he apparently walked into her room, all details I managed to gather from my crying sister. She was shocked and tried to stay calm, but he wouldn't leave. He was trying to chat her up. She told him to leave, and instead, he closed the door behind him, which is when she started freaking out. She tried to get past him to open the door, and he grabbed her, but she managed to open it anyway. By the time I reached the landing, he backed off. Obviously, I was super pissed. There was a lot of yelling and accusations. We were all drunk except for my sister. After getting the story from her, my girlfriend's stepbrother was stuttering and deflecting. I'm pretty sure I threatened violence at some point. My girlfriend was trying to be the mediator. She said I had to calm down and couldn't fly off the handle based solely on word of mouth. But I was there, I saw my sister crying in panic. I know what she's like, and I know she wouldn't lie about something like this. Why would she? I told her stepbrother to get out of my house. My girlfriend kept saying we could sort this out and have a proper conversation, but I didn't see what conversation there was to have. Eventually, she said, "What if your sister is lying?" Right in front of my sister. I asked her what on earth would make her think that, and she said my sister is a kid and could be making it up for attention. Like I said, I lost my crap. I told her to get out, and afterwards, she kept calling me, but I ignored everything. The dust has settled a bit. I went over everything again with my little sister, and she promised me it happened exactly as she told me. She said she was scared he was going to assault her. My girlfriend texted me this morning saying I shouldn't have raised my voice like that and that I scared her. I thought of apologizing then, but she still hasn't said a word about apologizing to my sister or addressing the issue with her stepbrother. I only replied that we had to talk, and she said there's nothing to talk about, there's no hard proof, her words, and the stepbrother ended up doing nothing. She said she would deal with him and that I should drop it. I don't know if I'm the jerk for the way I handled this. Maybe if cooler heads had prevailed, this silent treatment wouldn't have happened, and we could have discussed everything. I don't know what to do from here, either. I love her and don't want us to be over, so I'd appreciate advice on how to move forward. Relevant comment. This is what I'd send to your GF, because she's a dirtbag, and I'd bet he's done this crap before. Hey, GF. This isn't about you or your feelings. Your adult, drunk stepbrother went into the bedroom of my underage teenage sister, shut the door behind him, and refused to leave. The best thing I could do was make him leave. Rather than being appalled and apologetic, you had the audacity to question whether my sister was being honest, right in front of her, at which point I lost my temper. How could you accuse her of that while seeing how upset she was? Even if you had doubts, that was neither the time nor the place. Since this happened, the only person you've cared about is yourself. You want an apology for my anger and shouting, but not once have you apologized or asked about my sister. Again, this isn't about you, and I don't think this is going to work out since I want to protect my underage sister, while you want to protect your feelings and your potential predator of a stepbrother. Am I sorry I raised my voice at you? Yes, but if ever a situation warranted it, this was it. And no, you've never seen me like this because I've never been in a position where a grown man shut himself in my sister's bedroom and made her afraid she was going to be assaulted. Now we're done, and there's nothing left to say. Update 2 days later. First off, thanks to everyone who commented on my previous post. I tried to read as many comments as I could, and I got some great advice. My girlfriend asked me yesterday if we could talk in person. I agreed, and we met at a public park. She showed up already looking on the verge of tears. You/buttered_crumpet09, your comment was amazing. I basically said it word for word to her, lol. She let me speak and stayed silent for a long time before saying she was sorry for the way she had reacted. She told me she had been drunk, panicked, and not thinking clearly, and she was just trying to stop it from becoming a fight. We discussed her stepbrother. She said he has a weird streak and sometimes acts oddly. She told me he genuinely could have made a mistake and didn't mean any harm. I asked why he'd gone upstairs in the first place and why he shut himself in with my sister upon realizing he was in the wrong room. No answer. I asked how she could be so sure he had no perverted intentions. No answer. Some of you suggested that the stepbrother might have a history or could have even done something to her. I didn't outright say it, but I was implying it. I kept asking, what if he had gone further? What if he's assaulted someone before and you don't know about it? I asked if there had been incidents like this before and how she could possibly downplay what happened. She didn't have anything to say. By that point, she was too choked up to speak properly, so I don't think she could have answered even if she wanted to. Anyway, I wasn't there to listen to excuses or justifications, and I told her that. She asked me if we were over, and I said the only way we could move forward was if she apologized to my little sister and cut all contact with her stepbrother. I just don't see a scenario where my sister feels comfortable around him again. She told me she didn't want to lose me but couldn't do what I asked. So I told her yes, we're done. My parents came back this morning, by the way. Like I said, they had been out of town at a relative's place. I hadn't told them about this over the phone, I just said an incident had happened and I'd explain when they got back. My sister asked me to speak to them on her behalf, and I told them everything. My dad gave me a lot of crap, rightfully so. He says he wants to speak to my ex's parents about this and let them know what their son did. The police here are about as useful as an umbrella in a hurricane, but we discussed it, and we're going to file a report, auto de noticia, anyway. I highly doubt it will go anywhere, but at least there will be a record in the system. My sister is doing better. She was really shaken up and asked if she could sleep in my parents' room or mine for a bit. We'll probably arrange a therapy or counseling session for her and let her decide if she wants to continue. I'm going to take her bowling and then get food, just the two of us, so I can also apologize for my part. I feel upset. I feel guilty, actually. I trusted my ex, and my naivety put my little sister in danger. I've always thought I was a responsible person, and this happening when I was supposed to be in charge is messing me up. I'm pissed at myself, not gonna lie. But we move. My favorite comments to read were the ones telling me what to do to the stepbrother. I don't ever want to see his face again, but in case I do, someone let me know if you have a wood chipper lying around. Thanks again, everybody. Edit. Some things. People have asked if I can run a background check or something. I don't think it's legal for a civilian to do that in my country, Portugal, and I'm not sure if I can request one, but I'll see. Also, to everybody commenting about underage drinking, I was so confused, that's not a problem here, lol. I won't be incriminating myself or anything by filing a report, so don't worry. Commenter. I was waiting for this update. Good on you, mate. I still think the creep did something to your ex, which is why she kept deflecting and answering vaguely, saying he acts odd sometimes. Even if he did, it's not your responsibility now, though. Your poor baby sister, hopefully, she heals quickly from this. Ops response. Most people seem to think so. I will say, my ex's mother has been with her stepdad for nearly 6 years. She never liked discussing her family and had only recently introduced me to all of them. She never gave any indication of a bad relationship between her and her stepdad or brother. I would never have guessed in a million years if abuse or assault was happening. I hope that's not the case because that would be seriously messed up.